Alright guys, welcome back. I was asked to kind of do a combo video one more time here. This is going to be the Summon Sorceress play that we've seen floating around the Facebook page and the Discord for just a couple days now. It's been around a little bit longer, but the combo videos that we've seen up to this point haven't been super clear, I guess, if you will. Some of these proxies like the one that we have on the channel currently, so I'm just going to go ahead and try and make one that's a little bit more easy to follow and a little more in-depth. So this play involves specifically the only card in your hand being the Agent of Creation Venus. So if you draw no extenders but Venus, you can still make this play. You don't even need a discard to do this play, actually. It's just Venus. You end on a Ningirsu Draw 3 board, and all of this is possible because of Summon Sorceress. So this card is not really used in this deck for anything except for this combo specifically. But with that said, this combo in particular is very strong. Obviously, a one-card draw 3 with 4 materials on board is kind of insane. So you can follow that up with a Sayuja play, for example, if you draw into Waterfront or if you have anything like that in hand. You can also choose to just make Tri-Gate boards after this. And a very unique aspect of this one in particular as well is you actually end this combo sequence with Firewall Dragon Engrave and Aurum live up top. So you can actually end this play with a Firewall Dragon with its boundless effect still live on the board, which means you can make plays off of that as well. So without too much more talking, I'm going to go into this one. I will say before I start, though, there are really two ways you can make this play. One of them uses Linkuriboh as its primary enabler, and one of them kind of just doesn't use it and instead uses just some Link 2 fodder like Goblin in order to continue your plays. I'm going to go ahead and showcase this one in particular that uses Linkuriboh first, because this is the one that we've seen up to this point. So I'm going to go ahead and make one video on this one, and then I'll post a second video here in just a minute about the other video, or about the other combo, and kind of explain the differences. This one in particular, they both end you on the same board. They both take the exact same amount of cards. In that regard, they're the exact same. This one in particular, though, uses Linkuriboh and thusly requires you to be playing Wadapon in your deck. Linkuriboh obviously is a card that we play for the Undyne combos, so having this isn't really an issue. It just means you can't necessarily do anything else with this card later, which sometimes you like it as a bridge card. And Wadapon as a whole does tend to be a little bit of a worse card than Lilybell in my mind, because it is just level 1 and doesn't really do anything. If you're doing the other combo with notice a link to like Goblin, I'll call it the Goblin combo, and this will be Linkuriboh combo. If you're doing the Goblin version, you can actually play Trickstar Lilybell instead of Wadapon in your deck, which is another level 2, which does give you a transmodify target, which you can use to potentially make Venus and find that, assuming you don't use it for this combo. It's also an 800 attack direct monster, which can be relevant in time, I suppose, but that's not really the point. There are pros and cons to each one, more or less. Either one works totally fine. I personally prefer this version because it leaves me with my Nightmare Goblin open, so later on in my boards I can still use this as protection. You don't get that luxury in the other combo version, but yeah. I figure this gives Linkuriboh another use in the deck, so this is the one I prefer, and as such, I'm going to be showcasing this with Wadapon. And I'll go over all of those differences again in the other video as well. So, without too much more talking, I guess, we're just going to go into this. So, you're just going to start off, normal summon your Venus, and you're going to summon your 3 Shine Balls from your deck. From here, it's important to know that you leave this one in the middle as your Shine Ball that you have left. Or I guess if you really want to put it off here to the side, you can do that too, but you need to have a Shine Ball in one of these 2 zones, because you're going to be making summons work up top. So we're going to go ahead and link for 3. And we're going to make Summon Sorceress on the top here. This card is actually pretty crazy. For you EU guys, I guess this video isn't going to be super relevant, because this really is just to showcase Summon Sorceress. But for the rest of us, this card really is really good. Even though you won't use it really outside of this combo in particular, just this combo in particular I think is good enough to warrant playing this card. Having any card in the deck be a 1-card draw 3, I think, even though it is Venus, is just too strong to not play for such minimal investment. Really, you're only playing 1 card difference in the main deck, either Wadapon or Lilybell, than you would otherwise. Or, and also just Summon Sork in the extra deck, which is 1 slot. And even though it's a pretty tight squeeze, this card I think is worth the cut. So, Summon Sorceress. And then once you summon her, you're going to use her effect, targeting your Shine Ball, to search for Eva out of your deck and summon it here next to her. Put my grave up here. Sorry if that's confusing at all. Put my grave right here. I'm going to put my banished cards over here. Here, you're going to go ahead and link away Eva for your Linkuriboh, and this is why this is the Linkuriboh version. Ordinarily, you wouldn't make this step if you're playing the Goblin version of this combo, but here, Linkuriboh, and you're gonna use Eva's Effect Engrave. You're gonna go ahead and banish your Venus and your Shine Ball, and you're gonna search from your deck to your hand a Wadapon and a Lee. So this combo version specifically does require Wadapon, like I said, and that's because you're gonna be tributing it off for Linkuriboh later, so it has to be level 1. If you're using Lilybell, this version isn't possible, so just keep that in mind. There are some pros and cons. Wadapon effect in hand, you're going to reveal it to your opponent because you added it to your hand with Eva, meaning you get to special summon it to the board. You can put this card in either this zone or this zone. It just has to be underneath one of your link columns because you're going to be using this to windmill off with Firewall in just a second. So, link for 4 here. You're going to make your Firewall Dragon. Oops. Firewall. Yeah, here's another degenerate combo. Firewall Dragon enables, what are you gonna do about it? In your graveyard from here, this is why Wadapon's important. You're gonna use Linkuriboh's effect. Tributing a level 1 monster you control, Wadapon, and you're gonna summon Linkuriboh from your graveyard, and you're just gonna put him in this far left zone over here, because we don't really care about him until later, just keep him there. Firewall Dragon effect, whenever a card leaves the zone it points to, summon one from your hand. So you're gonna summon out this Lee, and you're gonna search your deck for a World Legacy World Chalice. So, as you can see, we have now gone from having just Venus and using only one normal summon this turn to having a Lee on board, and we've searched our Chalice with a Vanilla on board left, so I think most of you can see where this is going. Link away the Shine Ball to make your Imduk. Imduk, in this case, is really important for this combo, because this means now we can make our Chalice. But, like I said, we're aiming for an Ingirsu draw 3 play, meaning you want to have World Chalice names in these 3 zones here. So you kind of got to get rid of Firewall Dragon, so he'll be our tribute for this. But in order to not waste resources before he leaves the board, we're actually going to use his bounce effect because he's co-linked here. And we're just going to return any monster from our graveyard to your hand. In this case, I'm just going to use a Shine Ball because it's on top, but you can bounce anything from your grave to your hand. And that'll be relevant later. You'll see why in a second. So, extra normal summon from Imduk. We're going to tribute Firewall Dragon to summon World Legacy World Chalice. From here, I'm going to go ahead and link for 2. And we're going to put Aurum up top, actually. Because we have Imduk here in the middle, we are in kind of an awkward spot because we don't have anything up top to point downwards. So ordinarily, right, with like Venus plays, one of two things happens. Either you end with Imduk up top or Aurum up top. But because we don't have that down arrow to facilitate your link 2s in the middle here, we're going to go with Aurum instead this time. So we're going to use World Legacy effect in Graveyard here. And we're going to search the deck for 2 monsters to summon. We're going to grab Dragon, and we're going to grab Beckoned. Pretty standard. This could be whatever vanilla. I just play Beckoned personally. We're going to link for 2 to make our Eve here, and you can kind of starting to see that that familiar shape show up here in our combo. From here, we're going to use the Dragon effect in Grave to bring back Beckoned. We're going to go ahead, and before we go any further, we're going to use Lee's effect in Grave here, actually, to send the Shine Ball from our hand to the grave and add Lee back to hand, which is why this bounce was important. The bounce is not necessary, assuming that you have another monster in hand, where it does just save you resources, so I think it's a pretty nice little inclusion here. It does make this a very self-contained 1-card combo, so that's good. From here, we're going to continue, linking away Beckoned for Imduk, so that leaves you with 1 left in your extra deck, so you're only using 2 Imduks for this combo, which I also think is nice. And then from here, you're going to go ahead and get rid of Linkuriboh, Imduk, and Imduk. And you're going to go ahead and summon your Ingirsu. Draw effect is Chainlink 1, Imduk effect is Chainlink 2 to summon Lee out of your hand. And getting your draw 3 play here. And as I mentioned earlier in the combo, because we make Firewall Dragon so early, we actually still have that as an option in the graveyard here. We do have Aurum as a live effect right now. So at this point in time, we can actually tribute either our Lee or our Eve or something, and we can revive back our Firewall Dragon if we are going second for more disruption at this point. Or if you're going first, you can do this, return another resource to your hand and continue your plays. This is just a tool you have. If you do have the resources to extend out of this, you could just cut into a Trigate board straight from here. You could get rid of Ingirsu in this and go something else, and then Aurum for Trigate here, continue your plays or do whatever. But this is an option you have just to let you know. And but yeah, so this is going to be your ending board. You get your +3 here, and then you have 4 different names if you wanted to continue this into Saryuja, assuming you're into like a waterfall or something like this. So all just options. But yeah, so this is the Linkuriboh version of the Summon Sorceress combo. And I will show you guys the Goblin combo here in just 1 minute. Thank you.